Car manufacturer Daimler began to restart its plant in Rastatt yesterday. One focus of the plant is drive and transmission technology, an area in which both plants in Germany and abroad, especially in China, depend on, according to German news agency dpa. The workers also had to undergo safety training courses before they started their work. Germany so far has 146,200 infections of the new coronavirus, with 4,669 deaths. Ugochi Oluigbo, an independent journalist, joins me live from France to discuss how the European continent is gradually opening up its economy amid the pandemic. You're welcome. How are movement restrictions pretty much affecting businesses where you are in France?
Well, absolutely. Since March 17, the country, France, has been on lockdown. And remember where I am. I would like to say that where I am in France is called Saint Louis, and it's just about 3 minutes away from Basel, Switzerland, about 45 minutes from Zurich, Switzerland, and it's also 10 minutes from Germany. So people who live in this area live and work, all together. So basically, you can be working in Switzerland because you probably earn more in Switzerland, and then you live in France or shop in France, and then a lot of people also shop in Germany. So what happened with the borders closed, people are stuck in their different countries. So people from France cannot cross to Germany to shop where things are really cheaper. And people from Switzerland can also not enter France to shop. So you see how much this affects businesses in France, in Switzerland, and in Germany. But the president here has said he would leave no business would be left behind. And there's actually about 45 billion euros earmarked for businesses, and also about 1 billion euros for small businesses to help them after the coronavirus. So really, businesses have been affected. For people to step out to go shopping for just the basic or just the essentials, you have to fill up a form and also go out with this form. If not, you will be fined. So that would give you an idea of how people have been obeying the lockdown and being at home and just going out for the essentials.
Okay, great. Well, that's encouraging. So you mentioned Germany and Switzerland. We just mentioned a second ago that Daimler is planning on gradually reopening operations there. What's the climate? Is it similar to what you're seeing in France as far as Germany and Switzerland are concerned with regards to these, gradual reopenings happening there as well?
Absolutely. In Switzerland will start reopening by April 27. Just salons and small businesses might be able to open, but not the schools initially. There'll be 3 phases of reopening for Switzerland for April 27, and of course May 11, and then for June for higher education. So you're actually also being careful about not just reopening, there's no vaccine yet, there's no cure yet, nobody knows. So people are being careful, but people are affected. I also remember that Switzerland has not quite very high cases. There have been about 1,400 deaths in Switzerland. So the country believes that it is has a handle of this and can actually start reopening from May 27. But for Germany, for those who have to cross over from here to Germany to maybe shop, there's still that restriction, and it might go on for at least about 20 days.
Okay. Now, there are protests in some parts of America calling for the reopening of business. There's some suspicion that this might be politically motivated, but let's assume it's market determined, and there are people who are just angry and protesting and badly want to get back to work. Are you seeing any such similar sentiment in where you are in your part of Europe?
In France, I've only read about the protests in Paris, and those protesting are complaining about the high-handedness of security forces on ethnic minorities. They are saying they are going too hard on them, compared to French people. So that's what the protest in Paris is about, and they are tired of the lockdown. And also in Germany, a city in Germany where people are protesting that, according to the constitution, they have a right to go out. In Germany, you can more than 2 people. You'll be fined if there are more than 2 persons seen together congregating. So the court has said they have a right to protest, but they must maintain the social distancing in their protest. So not really, and I'm really surprising for many people when it comes to French response to these. French people have been known to be people who protest, who are very stubborn, quote unquote, but so far, because I think from the address the president gave at the beginning of this, he said it was a war to save the French nation. And so people really have been very, abided by the rules. Initially, there was about 4,000 fines on the first day of this lockdown because people were going out and didn't listen. But so far, when it comes to protests, there have been no protests to say we're tired of the lockdown. People understand the impact of these 20,000 people dead in France. That's a staggering number. And so far, they've been abiding.
All right, great stuff. So I also want to ask you now about, you mentioned earlier that, if you want to go out and shop or so, you have to fill out a form or something like to that effect. Do you see people patronizing the businesses that have opened up, here and there in small measures? What's that? Are people being cautious, shoppers being cautious because of fear of the virus?
Yeah, here businesses have not opened. The only businesses working are just the essential shops that sell food and medicine, the pharmacies. Those are the only shops that are open. So you can easily go in and buy something as long as you have the form. But also people are beginning to comply, wear the face masks, go out with their sanitizers. And yesterday I actually went out shopping and I saw that once you step in, their hand gloves for you to wear to be able to shop. As far as the social distancing inside the shop, some stores, people are not quite complying because I noticed that we're really close to people while doing my shopping. But for the bakeries, he said you have to be outside and then wait for, you have to give a bit of distance and wait for the next person to go in before you come in. So when it comes to that, some people and some businesses are complying, while I wouldn't say in the shop I visited yesterday, it was really tough when it comes to social distancing inside the shop, but they put in place measures that would help you sanitize your hand and wear your gloves, just to protect you and others.
Okay. All right. And finally, are you hearing anything around the business environment there about a new normal with respect to business operations in a post-COVID-19 world?
I think it would be different for many people because there's more online shopping now. And I would also state that Amazon had to stop, the government had to stop Amazon from delivering products to people because they were asked to put in more safety measures for their staff, and they've not been able to put that in place. So at least for now, at least till April 22, they've been stopped from making deliveries within France. So people are adjusting their shopping online. They're complaining, of course, but I mean, you can't do anything about it till May 11, when there would be some businesses would start opening up, and possibly schools. We're not certain yet. Possibly schools might be opening up, but for now, no businesses are working, just the essentials, and hopefully people might be able to adjust to the new normal post-COVID.
All right. Ugochi Oluigbo, an independent journalist over there in France, giving us an insights on how businesses are operating around that part of Europe. Thank you so much for speaking to us.